The next question will be for Judge Michael Lincoln regarding the oil and gas industry that we briefly touched on. Judge Lincoln, over the past few years, the financial and literally the landscape of White County has changed due to the natural gas industry's presence here. Obviously, this is a polarizing topic amongst the voters. Discuss the impact that you've seen, both positive and negative, on White County, and address what you have done and will do to address these issues if reelected. And Mr. Haynie, earlier you said the industry is on a downhill slope. I want you to expound on those feelings regarding the natural gas industry and what you will do to handle those issues if elected.
I would like to say that the restitution that Ms. Jenkins made was about $30. I don't know where Mr. Haynie's getting his $7,000.
Lowe's.
Okay, let's try to stay on topic here. Do I need to repeat the question?
No, I've got the question. I've often said that the time of the natural gas industry being in White County is the best of times and the worst of times. If I gave it a movie title, it'd be The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. There has been a lot of good come out from the ground, underneath the ground of White County. There are many royalty owners who are receiving many benefits from the natural gas industry being found beneath their property. There have been many jobs produced in White County as a result of the natural gas industry being in White County. There was, at a time where we were losing industry and losing jobs, the natural gas industry came in and they provided many good jobs, not only in White County, but in the Fayetteville Shell area and across the state. Not only did the natural gas industry boost the economy of White County and the surrounding counties, it upheld the economy in the state of Arkansas during a rough time in this country. Yes, the natural gas industry has itself hit upon hard times. It's because the price of natural gas has plummeted, and you cannot make a profit on drilling for natural gas if that gas gets below a certain dollar amount. And unfortunately, the natural gas industry has had to cut back their drilling practices until a time when that gas price gets back up. Now, we're talking about natural gas. We're not talking about petroleum. I know that petroleum gas is up, and that's why we need to use natural gas in this country more, because it's a matter of national security, and we need to promote the drilling in White County and throughout the state. Is that my time to stop?
It is.
Okay.
Mr. Haynie?
I've got to apologize. I forgot the first part of the
question
because I had a meltdown over here and lost some of the
No,
stuff.
it's no problem at all. I asked Judge Lincoln about the changes, both positive and negative, and the impact, both positive and negative, that the oil and gas industry has had on White County. And I referenced earlier, you said that the natural gas industry is on a downhill slope.
Yes.
And I wanted you to expound on how you feel about that and how you're going to handle the issues that it presents, both positive and negative, to White County if you're elected.
Well, I don't know how you can make gas prices go up. You got to understand the natural gas market. It's at $2 and I think 11 cents an MCF. For those that don't know, that's a million cubic feet. Sounds like a lot, but it's not. That's very, very cheap. But unless you have a cold winter up north, and that's where this gas goes. Why, I don't know. The gas from Arkansas goes way up north. If they have a cold winter in northeast, that's where it goes. That's where you get your price increase. I don't foresee natural gas prices getting any better. I deal with those people on a regular basis, not on a large scale, but they don't foresee anything getting any better anytime soon because the market is flooded with natural gas. And I don't want us to keep depending on natural gas as something that's going to take us forward and make all things well in White County. I believe in promoting it, but there's certain regulations that they need to live by, and it's very expensive operation to do.
Thank you, Mr. Haynie. Would you like a 30-second rebuttal?
Well, it's a matter of supply and demand, as my opponents pointed out. warm winter equals less demand and lower prices. And I do believe that we need economic development in other areas. Just today, Mayor Morris and I attended a regional economic development meeting where we're trying to get our heads together and produce some ideas in a 10-county region that would bring jobs to this area of the state. It's part of the county judge's responsibility to promote the White County to be aggressive in meeting people, and I make contact with the natural gas people. I'm on a first-name basis with them. Anytime we have a problem, I make a phone call and we get the situation handled.
Thank you. Next question is for you, Mr. Haynie. As we've mentioned, you are the owner and proprietor of Haynie Utility and Construction.
Yes.
And as Judge Lincoln referenced in his opening, he has no other interests or no other potential conflicts.
Yes.
I want you to speak to that. If you're elected, do you foresee yourself having the time to run both your private company and White County? And do you foresee any conflicts arising out of that? And Judge Lincoln, on the flip side, do you feel that one can adequately operate a private business and fulfill duties as county judge? And do you see the occasion for any conflicts to arise from Mr. Haynie's private business? Mr. Haynie?
Number one, my company, we very seldom work for the public. Unless it's for a family friend or something, we'll do something for them. If it's for a city or a church, we do it, but we never charge them. Ever since we've been in business, we've just kind of made it a policy we don't charge them. My business is utility construction, and for those that don't know what that means, that's setting power poles, running telephone cable, running natural gas distribution lines. We do some directional drilling for Entergy and some other power companies, and we do a lot of fiber optic work. We did a lot of work for Chesapeake, and now it's BHP, but I have made a vow, and I will say it in front of every person in this room. If I am elected, I think it's a conflict of interest if I did any work for any gas company in White County. And I won't. And I've told them that same thing. So.
Thank you, Mr. Haynie. Judge Lincoln?
Having served as your county judge for 3 terms, I find it very challenging to think that I could have another job, part-time, full-time, administrator or whatever. The demands on this office are great. We are the 2nd largest landmass. We have the largest county road system. We're 10th in population. But with the county judge's responsibility of Veterans Affairs, Office of Emergency Management, 911 Dispatch Center, working with the other elected officials, managing a county budget, with all the budget meetings, buildings and grounds meetings, personnel meetings, with all the boards, 16 mayors, 30 fire departments. The list goes on and on. I just don't see how anyone could have any outside interest. And I know Mr. Haynie said he wouldn't do any work for the natural gas industry in White County. Does that mean you won't do any work for them anywhere? And I don't see how anybody could receive money from telephone, gas, natural gas, cable. I don't see how you could receive money from those companies doing business and there not be a conflict of interest.
Thank you. Mr. Haynie, your 30-second rebuttal.
Judge Lincoln, to answer your question, no. I will not do any work for any gas company. But let me ask you this. You say it's a conflict if I work for, say, AT&T or CenterPoint. Is it a conflict for your JPs to work for these gas companies, do you think? Any JP under your administration, do you have a problem with them working on a daily basis for a natural gas company?
I'll allow you a a brief response and a response only to that question, please, Judge.
Well, this debate is seeking the office of White County Judge, of which there is only one chief executive. There are 13 JPs. No, I don't have a problem with a JP having employment elsewhere because they are not full-time elected officials.
Okay.
The county judge is a full-time elected official.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. To our 8th question of the evening regarding Veterans Affairs. Judge Lincoln, I know that both you and Mr. Haynie have publicly stated the importance of honoring and helping provide for veterans in this county. What has your administration done to this end, and if elected, what can you do better in this regard? Mr. Haynie, if you would comment on your thoughts regarding what Judge Lincoln has done or what he could be doing better for our veteran services, and what will you do if elected to help our veterans? Judge Lincoln?
About 10% of White County's population is made up of veterans. There's over 8,000 veterans in White County, and that's a growing number. I've hired Larry Robertson as our Veterans Administration officer, and Larry does a great job meeting the needs of the veterans. We also were blessed to acquire a veterans clinic in Searcy, which is a huge benefit to the veterans in this area. One of the issues that Larry and I have discussed, and we are trying to come up with better solutions, is how to make contact with those veterans that served in the Vietnam War. We still have many veterans from the Vietnam War area in White County that has not made contact with our Veterans Administration. There are lots of reasons for that, but we find that as a challenge to make sure that every veteran gets every benefit that is deserving to them for whatever war, whatever conflict that they served in.
Mr. Haynie?
As far as veterans, police officers, firemen, EMS, they're the true American heroes. Those that are serving now, they're all are true American heroes. I will do and spend as much money as the law will allow to help any of them, and I plan to do that. Your money for, according to the ballot, your money for your Veterans Office comes from your non-mandated services fund, so there's money there. There's money there to work with, and I can't say enough about veterans or anybody that's in public service. I've been involved in public service other than elected official most of my life, adult life, and anything I can do for anybody that's doing for me, I'm going to do it, whether it costs me personally or costs the county. I don't know if that answers the question or not.
No, it does. Thank you. Would you like a rebuttal, Judge Lincoln?
Not really, just to say that I think Mr. Haynie and I agree 100%. Whatever we need to do for our veterans, that's what we need to do and make sure it's done. I believe Larry Robertson does a great job in helping assist the veterans to get the benefits that they so rightfully deserve.
Great. Thank you.